What's up, Nesties? Look, we've got a 6-4. Nesties, look. We got a 649 on Route 21. We need to get out there, okay? Hopefully you're ready for a ride along today. It is daytime. We are, again, in St. Paul, Minnesota. We need to get out there. We have criminal activity, and only the Nesties can stop it, okay? Okay, are you ready? All right, mount up. Grab your firearms, your bulletproof vests. I don't know what we're getting into today. Well, we're gonna find out, okay? All right. I don't know. Could be anything.
How you doing?
How you doing, sir?
Can I help you out with something?
Yeah, I'm an Uber driver. I can pick up somebody.
Pick someone up from the jail?
I don't know. I'm an Uber driver. I don't know. They sent me out here.
See, probably not here. This is a restricted area for police cars.
Oh, I turn around.
Yeah,
Probably
not for
want to
you.
be on that side,
That's right, not for you,
over on
sir.
Grove Street.
So go around the block.
Just go around the block, you'll be all right.
Okay, FW11 calls shotgun. We're
We are
with
live.
Under Sheriff Mike Martin again today.
I think. Oh, we're live.
He is our mentor.
Help you out with something?
All right, we are back live. Of course, getting our stuff set up. And
Okay, all right.
Steve was nice enough to help a young man who was lost.
That is nice.
Oh,
Serve and
looks like he
protect.
found his person back
Yeah, there you go.
Must have been a dispatcher, call taker, telecommunicator,
Making good use
supervisor.
of Uber.
Okay.
Yes,
All right,
Well,
buckle
Have
up,
you used
everybody.
Uber, Mike?
I have.
Buckle up.
I have used Uber. As a matter of fact, I used it last week when I was in San Diego.
Ah,
I welcome backseaters. We'll get to that in a minute. But
Thank you, Under Sheriff. Thank you.
welcome into the back of the Tahoe here. You're with Under Sheriff Mike Martin.
Mike Martin.
And Director Steve Leiden from
Okay.
the Ramsey County Sheriff's Office
With Steve.
in the beautiful state of Minnesota, in the beautiful city of St. Paul. And we live stream our patrols from time to time. And we're doing that right now.
yeah, great afternoon. Great day. Sun's out again, can't knock that.
We love that.
It says 36 degrees on
Ooh, okay. Little balmy. It's
the
nice.
dashboard here. We'll take that.
And let me just double check our Nightbot. Nightbot says it's 46 degrees Fahrenheit in St. Paul, Minnesota. So I don't know who to trust here. I don't know.
We are in the Central District in the city of St. Paul. We are monitoring all of St. Paul's channels and Ramsey County's channels, as well as some metro-wide and statewide channels that would come into play if there was a chase or something big happened.
Mike is probably
like our fire
misinformed.
that we had up in Shoreview
Yeah, it
the
really,
other night.
A fire?
really got out of control quick. A couple of little 10-year-olds.
What?
Matches and burned quite a few acres.
Yeah, it got out of control and it ended up, I don't know how many acres it burned, but it was threatening some houses.
Wow.
And it was
Let's go
very
find those little
windy,
bastards.
So that didn't help.
Had great coordination from the fire department that got other fire departments to assist once they assessed how quick things could grow, and it did, and great cooperation with multiple agencies fighting the fire under the command, and really impressive how well fire departments cooperate together, share information together for the safety of the citizens, and that night it really panned out.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, they did a great job of getting the fire contained and then managing the hot spots.
Excellent. Oh, there's the State
for the
House.
rest of the night to make sure nothing flared up again, but it got a little scary at one point.
Yeah.
I'll
They
bet.
had drone footage. They
Fire
had
is
the fire
scary.
marshal, White Bear Lake Police Department, and the Ramsey County Sheriff had drones up. And what's very helpful for fire is when you got that drone up, you can see the overall picture of what's grown rather than what's right in front of you. Plus, as they started putting the fire out, the infrared clearly showed where the hot spots were that you may not notice right away in the dark when there's no more flame, but it's a hot spot for them to put out. It was a great effort.
Yeah, it was interesting to watch the drone footage and
What's that?
see how the fire was spreading and all.
League of Minnesota Cities. Okay, great. We're crossing Rice Street. We heard about that the other night. Arabella, you're from Minneapolis. Awesome. Hey, if you want to help out with navigation, if you happen to cite any spots that you know, feel free to call them out. I do want to call your attention to 2 new emojis in the chat. We have, it's a set of forks, okay? It's a set of forks. If you want to see it on the community tab, you can see it more up close. But we have 2 golden forks crossed over a spork, a plastic white spork. As you know, these are highly illegal in the country of Kuwait. And also, we do have a new sports bra. The other one we couldn't really see. It was the tie-dyed one. So it has a purple background with an owl wearing the sports bra. And it's next to the sports bra that says Calm, the pink one. So here's our sports bra. Owl, yes. Now, if you weren't with us the other night on our first time patrol, welcome. We are in St. Paul, Minnesota. There is a new Nightbot command to get the weather from Minnesota. It's !MINN to get the weather at any time. Mike Martin told us it's 36. Nightbot says it's 46. So I don't know. We'll have to check. I'll have to check. Rice Street is about 10 minutes from you, Arabella. Wonderful. We had a local in the chat last time, too. All right. So it's pretty early. I think it's 3 p.m. there now. I need to add that to Nightbot, too, for the time. So we're going to need a dinner break at some point. So just start thinking about what you want to order or where you want to go.
Also see those hot spots, and then when they would take it off of infrared, you could see where it was no visible flames, which was interesting to me.
Yeah, that's one of the great advantages for firefighting with drones. And Deputy Flick on our part did a really good job piloting the drone and making sure all the right areas were covered and visible. I did not see the footage of the fire marshal or of White Bear, but I have to assume theirs was equally as good.
Yeah, it was good. I felt like I could watch it and kind of understand what was going on without being in the middle of it. So, but yeah, no, the interagency cooperation there was as good as can be asked for, and I know Lake Joe Fire took the lead on it, and
Crossing over Pennsylvania Avenue.
Brighton and Roseville assisted at different points. So, and White Bear. I'm trying to think of. I'm sure I'm missing somebody.
It's kind of always the thing that catches me is I'll do that. I want to give everybody credit that did a great job, and then I end up missing somebody.
It's inevitable.
Never intentional, that's for sure.
So we.
Thank you, Arabella. White Bear is about 15 minutes from St. Paul. Thank you. Failure to signal on that little red sedan says ham and beans. Do you think we're going to catch up? You think we're going to get them?
We're northbound on Rice Street in the Central District in St. Paul.
Okay.
And we missed last Monday because I was in San Diego, and at some point, probably not today, I'll talk about what we were doing down there.
He already told us this on Friday. He's a big wig.
I was there with a bunch of folks that are involved in high-level drug trafficking investigations, and we were looking at how they stop drug smuggling and human trafficking at the border. And tour the Customs and Border Patrol, Coast Guard, and talked to some Marines that were assigned down there to help with fortifying the wall
Oh boy.
down there,
Okay.
and talk to a lot of the agents
You're sending Marines to do that? Okay.
about how they stop the drug smuggling and drug trafficking and the different trends. So at some point I'll talk more about that, or we'll probably release something on the sheriff's office
Yeah.
Facebook page.
You shared a lot on Friday.
But also on X. I don't know.
Hello, Anna.
Not that fancy, but if you don't already, make sure you follow the Ramsey County Sheriff's Office on Facebook and on X.
You know what I follow is the Backseaters page. They accepted me into the private group. So I had a feeling they were gonna. I asked them when do they go live on Monday, because I think it's only Mondays and Fridays. So we got to catch them when they're live. This is happening right now. We're behind, obviously, but
Can't dance.
Yeah.
we're not too far behind. This is happening now.
I don't think so. And I think most of the police videos I've seen on TikTok are more embarrassing. With,
Plenty of those, I'm sure.
it's one I wouldn't want to explain in court, but
I'll bet. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
it turns itself off. So when he says, is this one working, it's our in-car camera. The in-car
Emma.
camera works, but it also has an LPR.
What's that?
License plate reader. in it
Oh,
that
license plate
identifies
reader.
stolen vehicles.
Oh. So this thing just scans license plates from the car? That's interesting. So if it's your if it's your first ride along, this is only my second one. We're in St. Paul, Minnesota, okay, and we are fighting crime on the streets. We are a special task force of owls, and we have our eyes wide open. Wide open. Hello, Sea Clove.
It's actually kind of like cheating to me, but it's if you're driving around in a car that's stolen, it will tell us that that's a stolen car. So we are eastbound on Maryland. We had a semi-busy Friday night,
Yeah. Well,
although it wasn't
I mean,
super busy. There
no.
was a lot going on.
we drove around a lot.
And, a few chases and Harry.
There were stolen cars. We were looking for stolen cars mostly. But yeah, we do have a pair of 10-year-old arsonists. Yes, we do, crackhead gin. So so we're looking for some mischievous children lighting fires.
Hispanic male conscious breathing, chest pain, and likely
Lima, Romeo Foxtrot, 564.
Get Pat.
Patrick's out.
Patrick's out? Like out today? We rode along with him on Friday. Pat?
Clear the 2012 DTS. That's a 1200 watt McLean.
And yes, we can run the status of license plates and stolen vehicles from other states as well. As a matter of fact, we'll get a hit if we hit on it. Part of the problem is their duplicate license plates, as far as the numbers and the letters from other states. So sometimes you'll get a hit and it
Oh.
turns out to be the wrong state.
Well, you know, can't be perfect, right?
Backup.
There you go. That's why we always verify.
Yeah.
Even if we get a hit, to make sure it's
course.
still active.
Rosebud's
I had
taking
the one
notes.
case
We're learning.
about 18 months ago in White Bear Lake. White Bear found it stolen at the Speedway gas station. I happened to be nearby and they had marked squad. I told them I could block them from the front. We made the VIP move
2471 transport.
and turned out to be a lady whose car had been stolen the week before and returned. But the agency that recovered the car forgot to take it out of NCIC.
Oh, that's bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, you never want to stop an innocent citizen in what you think is a stolen. Because
Oh my God. Imagine.
oftentimes have our guns out and use tactical stop, and then hey, do you need a rug? Like a giant tiger rug?
They look so nice, I hate to walk on them.
Well, you could hang it on your wall.
There you go.
See, it already crashed.
I love looking at
What do they call
architecture of different areas, like
Yeah.
these homes.
There's a word for it.
So different.
Like a felt
Yeah.
painting.
It's fascinating.
Again, just in Paul, posted.
Bravo 5190, clear 25, it's March to...
Traffic flow is a little slow. Look at all those stairs going up to that house.
Just FYI, Steve and I are out live, so if you need us to mute,
Yeah.
just let us know.
Yeah, you got a lot of owls in the back seat, you know.
You know, I knew that. I don't know what I was thinking.
Oh, ham and beans. I think I've spent a total of 5 days in the Midwest, total.
Tapestries, what else?
So this is unfamiliar to me.
That's what it is.
Huh.
I knew it would come to me as soon as I looked it up on the internet.
Hey, Azalea.
My dad went to Egypt once, and
No
he
way!
got a big one of the Last Supper that was gifted to him
Oh, God.
by his host.
A papyrus.
Cool.
Oh,
We had it
God.
at our house for quite a while.
Mm-hmm.
5261.
A papyrus of the Last Supper.
My
That's
mom
interesting.
will correct me
Keep
because
me on
I'm
the
sure
phone. You
she's
can't tell the
watching,
comments,
but I believe it was gifted to a church or
64 copy.
similar organization.
Okay. I don't even know where my papyrus is from 50 years ago. It's somewhere.
44.
It has significance, though, but the Midwest is terrifying as a
Are the
geoguesser.
kids in
Hello, McQuincy.
St. Paul here, do they have spring break?
Yes, fighting crime
I'm not
again.
sure when their spring break is. I don't think so. I think there's stuff going on in the schools right now.
Oh, okay. I just saw the kid raking back
Well,
there.
what about those 10-year-olds lighting fires?
Gotta give
They're not in
props to
school.
kids out raking leaves.
Unoccupied vehicle with no plate and road.
That's what kids should be doing, raking leaves. Come to my
Of course,
house.
it's a little later.
I'll rake with you.
So maybe he went to school.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's raking leaves.
It's beautiful there, I'll bet.
So we're on the east side of St. Paul,
Okay.
in the state of Minnesota.
East side.
You're with the Ramsey County Sheriff's Office.
Mm-hmm.
The very last entry. Just an FYI.
Oh, okay, good.
In case something gets
A
out
lot of gray and neutral cars, huh?
Good to know. Yeah, hopefully they'll have us mute if it does.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
because we're
of
gonna
course,
yap.
with our gun unit and our carjacking and auto theft team and all those groups.
Yes, carjacking and auto theft team. I had to look that up because in order to join their backseaters Facebook group, you have to answer questions about them. And I'm like, and they were like, what is the name of our carjacking and auto theft response team? And I was like, I don't know. So I Google it and it's like, it's literally CAT, like carjacking, auto theft. I had to answer all kinds of questions. Why do you want to join our group? All kinds of stuff.
lot of times they're doing stuff they don't want broadcast, and so we just tell them, hey, let us know and we'll mute so that you guys can talk freely, but we haven't had that yet.
Hello, Lord
Yeah, you
Baroque.
couldn't ask for a more beautiful day than today.
It does look nice.
Well, I'd take another
70 would be
say
nice.
20, 30 degrees.
Yeah, but still, for March,
But being Minnesota, into the spring, this is typical nice
We'll take
weather.
it.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another 30 degrees more and we'd be 69 and sunny.
Oh. Some of my kids wrestled, and there's the last week of February, first week of March would always be the wrestling tournament fall in there for the state. And some years you'd be all bundled up and walking through snow, and other years you'd be wearing a t-shirt and out in the sun, and
Yeah.
just that fluctuation of weather this time of year is real common.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Metro. Is that like Metro PCS or something? I'm gonna double check our weather and see if Nightbot is accurate.
About the guy beating Gable Stevenson. The wrestling match this weekend.
I didn't see it.
Yeah.
It's coming
No, the one where
I think Mike Martin was wrong because weather.com says that it's 45 degrees and I think Nightbot is saying 46. So I think Mike thinks it's a little bit colder than it is. And the Nightbot command for St. Paul, Minnesota is exclamation MINN. Feel free to hit it anytime.
Gable Stevenson?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
He's
He
phenomenal.
got beat
Really?
by another guy for the national championship.
Oh. Well, it's
Wyatt Hendrickson, I think the guy's name
Okay.
was, from Oklahoma State.
Oklahoma's always had, John, way back when, John Smith, I'm going back some years, one of the most gifted wrestlers.
Oh my
He had
God. Okay.
He had the ability to do a one-legged shoot off to the side, but hook your ankle and bring you down. Even when you knew he was going to do it, he was so quick.
Okay.
Oklahoma, Iowa, Minnesota have been really strong wrestling over the years. And the University of Minnesota had a great coach for many years.
Okay. So what are we doing today, fellas? I thought we were fighting crime.
Is that John Robinson?
He can be wrong because he's fighting crime.
Yeah.
He can't be worried about the weather. It's okay. He gets a pass.
He ate, slept, and breathed wrestling. Or the Gophers. I talked about Vern Gagne, but nobody under 60 know who I'm talking about.
Well, he died recently, right?
Sadly, he did.
Look at that old McDonald's. Old
He had
McDonald's.
dementia.
Look at the sign. That's
It's
ancient.
a tough way to see someone go.
Yeah.
I went to an
Wow.
antique relic gun show in Egan over the weekend.
Really?
Yeah, it was very interesting. Civil War items, World War I, a lot of World War II items there. Some old shotguns, uniforms,
Interesting.
black powder guns, buttons. What was really unique is you would talk to the guy that was at the table, the vendor, and boy did he know his stuff.
Yeah.
This is a hobby that they really are interested in, the history and the dates and what happened, and it was really interesting talking to these guys and hearing what they say. Great merchandise, really a lot of vendors. They filled the arena down in Egan, and the place was packed. A lot of interest, a lot of people, and I ran into a retired FBI SAC
Oh,
on my way in that I used to work with.
FBI Frank.
Nick O'Hara.
FBI
really?
Frank was there.
Yeah.
He gets around.
Nick
Tell ya.
looked great. We had a nice conversation. It was really, really nice running into Nick O'Hara and having that conversation.
I haven't haven't seen him for probably 10 years.
He hasn't changed a bit. He looks
I'll
exactly
bet.
like he did. He doesn't look like he ages anymore.
Interesting. Is he working or just visiting?
What's that? He was visiting.
Yeah.
He was on his way out when I was on the way in. We sat and talked for about 30 minutes.
White Bear
Always nice to run
Avenue.
into people that you worked with in the past.
Oh, looks like
and
a
see how
food
well
truck
they're
over
doing.
there.
Right, yeah.
Where was
Especially,
FBI Frank when
you
it
know,
came to the
when they're
case
doing
of the
really well, and
Yeah.
missing washcloths?
people that had
Good
done
question.
enough work and
That was probably a
enough
specialized
time
team
where they,
on that case.
You could have easily just been depressed and
Well, I'm not saying he wasn't depressed after he bumped into me. That could have had that effect
of
on him.
course, yeah.
It's like, oh my God, Leiden's still here?
Oh, line, gee. Did you ask him about DB Cooper?
I actually did, because there's this guy who claims to have been notified by the family of the suspect who did hijack hijack an airplane,
Oh my God.
just like DB Cooper case, a few months after DB Cooper, and got caught, went to prison, escaped, and Nick and his partner were checking out a cabin, and he came out ready to fire on him, and the FBI returned fire, and he died.
Oh, well,
And
there's
40
that.
years later,
There's the end of that story.
His wife dies, and the kids,
he
I don't know
died.
if it was mom's storage unit or the grandma's storage unit, they claimed to have found the customized parachute that he had jumped out of the plane with.
Oh,
And
okay.
this guy who's a what do you call him? People that always think something, conspiracy theory guy who's done a lot of YouTube stuff on it.
One of those guys.
He goes out and does a video on it, and he came out and interviewed Nick, and Nick was like, don't pay attention to that guy. He doesn't have the credibility. And so we talked about that for a little bit. We talked about
we're back.
old guy deputies we knew that I had run into or he had run into and how they were doing. He said to say hi to everybody back at the sheriff's department and hi to the sheriff.
That's nice.
That's good. Wasn't he the superintendent at the BCA for a while?
Yeah, he retired from the FBI, which is mandatory, I think at 55 or 57, as the special agent in charge of the Twin Cities, or actually Minnesota and South North Dakota, I believe. And then the BCA hired him. The governor appointed him to be the superintendent of the Bureau of Criminal Apprehension. And then when he decided to leave there, the sheriff was able to talk him into coming to work at the Ramsey County Sheriff's Department. He was an undersheriff when he retired from the Sheriff's Department. He basically had your job, in charge of the specialty units.
I think I'm going to speed them up a little bit because the potholes kind of already getting to me a little bit. I wanted to say hello to Fran. Mama Owl, did you see my message about the kid who wrote on the Tesla? His parents made him come over with a written note saying he was sorry and flowers. Father gave us a check for $5,000. He went to the bank. It was D. Were they overdrafted? Uh-oh. Kristen Cody, hello. We got Cypher in the nest. Agnes's cousin is here. Snakes don't have eyelids. Oh, yeah. I know, right? We're hanging on the last letter. It was D. D what? Hey, nickname.
Narcotics, violent crying.
Oh, okay, Arabella. Have a good night at work.
We're
The
still
check
on the east
died.
side of St. Paul. We're down off of South Street. Just checking some areas where we oftentimes will run into stolen vehicles.
DOA.
Busier for calls for service. Although it's super quiet right now. I use the keyword on purpose.
Boy,
Yeah, those
There you go.
yards
It's
are
one
very
of these.
slanted.
There we go. We got a call.
I don't smoke in the county vehicles, but if I did, I lit my cigar. That would start it. Have to throw away the brand new cigar by the time it kicks
Or
off.
when you have to go to the bathroom.
47.
Yeah, that's the other time. Murphy's Law is always in effect.
Look at these older vehicles.
Can you give me the first three?
Usually see really old vehicles in the, these aren't really old, but usually see old vehicles in the south because they don't, the salt doesn't get to them. So they don't go bad as fast.
2471.
You also find yourself angrily saying, "Get out of my town," when someone's annoying and exactly has to be followed by a teardrop. It's mandatory. I know. Denied and died. Yep. Yeah, we still don't know the end of that story. Snakes don't have hips? Uh-oh. How do you know if they're lying or not?
I'm just a black belt, just being roadside. Check for injuries.
Check for injuries. Uh-oh.
You used to have a 3M plant and a roofing plant down here
Yeah.
to our right, and it's all gone now.
Huh.
A lot of changes. You know, when I was a kid and you grew up, my grandparents were out here. I spent a lot of time out here, and you had Amhoist, you had Maytag, you had the railroad, which was a lot of employees, and 3M. All this used to be 3M factory right here.
Really?
Tore it down. Now it's a big empty lot. And we had Mitch's bar right up here in the corner.
How
Mitch's
long
bar.
did that go away? Mitch's bar.
You know, I was thinking the last.
I'm just going to turn him down a little bit while we're still driving. Murdered outside of the bar. Oh my goodness. FW11 wants to know, can they get a funny teardrop voice? Hi, FW11! Hi! Hi, FW11! Oh, it's good to see you! Has your spouse eaten anything out of the trash can recently? Hi! Hi! Francis, it was good. I almost did not accept the flowers, but that would have made me just as bad as the kid. The father said he was not raised that way. My dad was a smart man. He said never discuss sex, politics, or religion. It's all personal. You really wanted to kick butt. What happened to the check? You said you took to the check to the bank and something happened.
Oh, okay. The backseaters say hi.
Uh-oh. What's going on? Yeah, we say hi. We're the
Just
backseaters.
caught Pat taking a nap. No, he wasn't taking a nap. He's
No,
No, he
he
wasn't.
cars going by.
hiding out, checking cars.
You know, I couldn't see the motorcycle. I could hear the engine in the Cadillac went by. I thought, that Cadillac has a bad
They should
valve
change the
somewhere.
sound of the engines. Yeah. No, I saw the motorcycle. I wanted to let him pass to see if he had colors on it, but he did not.
Oh.
No, he was dressed all in black and white. No color.
Oh,
Yeah.
did you hear that? He wanted to see if he was wearing colors, the biker. That means gang affiliation. Like crip walking. No, not really. I don't think many crips, right? I don't know. Maybe they do. Motorcycle clubs,
No,
they call
it's
them.
like- is it a holiday?
A 1%er, yeah.
They told us.
Again, they left us out.
I have the New York gang handbook.
So that little
be in
piggy,
school.
he wasn't going to get his house blown down.
No.
A solid good
He
phone.
huffed and puffed and
Oh,
ran out of air.
for research purposes, you know. It's interesting.
So I got tickets from a Shriner
Oh,
who happened to be a retired FBI agent, not Nick O'Hara, but
oh, FBI Frank again.
And had my grandkids
There is
and
a
my
handbook,
son and
yeah.
daughter go to the circus on Saturday.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, you know,
Where was it?
Yeah, it's at the Minnesota State,
Oh, okay.
which is closed now for total remodeling.
Really?
Yeah. I don't think it'll be open in time for the fair even.
How are they going to do all the horse shows and
Horse shows.
stuff?
Yeah, there's a handbook for law enforcement for tattoos, hand signs, all different kinds of things.
To get that up to speed, have better seating.
It is pretty outdated.
Hello, Whitebird. We're in St. Paul,
I like to go
Minnesota.
there every year. just
Fighting
watch
crime.
The horses. And it's interesting because I know absolutely nothing about them.
Yes, Silver Sea. Come on
It
in.
makes it more fascinating.
The check was good? Okay.
Yeah,
I feel
Fairmount's
like
been around.
I feel like we're driving around in circles. I could be wrong. Fran says the check was good, so I cashed it. And our rage cash in our safe, the dad said if it costs more to call him, if it's less, keep it for inconvenience. Of course, I will give them the difference. Interesting. No, definitely not. Darkest Coven, you're right. Darkest, that's right, Darkest Coven. Colors don't always mean one percenters. That's right. No, we were talking about honey, what you doing? We're talking about motorcycle clubs, and there are a few, hence the 1%, that are considered the 1%. Yes, yes, but most gangs in general, no. That's right.
They had a streetcar office brought in just to dispatch how much traffic was coming in and out back
Wow.
in those days.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And I missed the races. They used to have races in the
Yeah, the
grandstand.
car races. I remember that.
Oh, 5-0 up ahead.
accident
No,
here.
it's an ambulance. Sorry. False alarm. False alarm.
Oh,
What's happening? Should we stop? Do we need to? Maybe we
I've
should
been
stop and
working on
help.
somebody in the vehicle.
You won't know unless you pull over.
but they're all.
They're just speculating. What do you think they're doing over
It's
there?
a little easier.
Unfortunately, it's off the road because that's where the accident took them.
Okay, I guess we don't care. All right, that's fine.
Fire
The
truck.
rescue squad.
Hey, I don't
Just
know.
have to extricate somebody.
Oh, oof.
You know, if I could ever figure out how to hook up one of their fire engine air horns into my squad car,
Oh, that'd be fun.
sure.
I'm sure you could.
You run red lights and sirens, and with the quality of insulated vehicles and radios and sound, people don't pay attention to the rearview mirror. They don't know you're coming up and you're trying to get someplace to help somebody. And
Yeah. Well, you have to kind of toggle through the different sounds,
yeah,
hoping that one of them will interfere with the music they have cranked up.
exactly.
Have you seen those? They have them in other parts of the country, and they probably have them here too. But the ones that have the really low
No, I'm not.
kind of sound,
I've never heard that. Have you guys heard that?
they're pretty good. I've seen them on fire trucks, and but I haven't seen them on any police cars. It's a very low, long.
Ammo says we're the washcloth kids. Our colors are white with a streak of brown. Lovely. That is just lovely. Okay, Whitebird, have a good job. Have a good time doing your small job.
Walk a mile in the snow uphill from first grade to sixth grade when I went to St. Peter's in North St. Paul.
He's not even saying
But
that
I worked uphill
ironically.
both ways because my house is on a hill that you would go down, then you would go up
Okay.
19th or 17th Avenue, 19th Avenue to get up to St. Peter's. Then you'd walk down the hill and back up our hill.
I always tell my kids that I walk to school, even in the middle of winter, the dead of winter. I would walk a mile and a half to school every day. But I left out the part where I lived in San Diego. So-
Your big fear was sunburn on the way to school.
Exactly.
That's a nice
My
bridge.
big fear was that my brother, who was a year older, would,
Yeah.
talk me into doing something I shouldn't do.
God bless the older brother.
M&H.
Yeah, we just went over
You guys remember M&H from Friday night? This is where stuff went down. And I thought they were talking about mental health. No, it's a convenience store and a gas station.
Phelan Parkway. And Mayor Randy Kelly, that was his idea. It was a great asset to the city of St. Paul and a main thoroughfare on the east side. And it wasn't that long ago, you and I bumped into Randy.
We did. At Cheryl's.
Yeah.
Oh, Minnehaha.
Restaurant in North Hotel, technically.
Minnehaha.
20. Stopped in there for a quick bite.
I'm starting
And,
to
Randy came
recognize
in,
places.
looking good as ever.
I had no idea that was his idea to put Phelan.
Yeah. Yeah, his concept.
What is that? What is this big tall thing? It looks like an obelisk. It looks like an obelisk. I guess not. Probably not.
To get from
What is it, though? Oh, we're lagging a little bit.
It's a great way to get from we'd alternate between Minneapolis and St. Paul. And the St. Paul meetings were in that brewery.
Up in the taste room?
Yep. And the taps were flowing for those who weren't working or didn't care.
Speaking of Midwest Game
Morelli's.
Association, you have a conference coming up.
Sure do.
What
Yeah,
are we doing
sweet.
though, guys? Are we just
Well-
driving around like BSing, or are we? What are we actually doing? Curious. So yeah, check out Ham and Bean's comment. We talked about this on Friday as well. It is interesting information to know. That's Freemason territory. They're in war with Illuminati. What Minnesota is?
If your officers and you just let it slip your
Hey,
mind,
Alec.
and
Good.
you want to go
How are
to that
you?
conference, can they still register at the door?
Yes, they can still register at the door or on Eventbrite. Midwest Gang Investigators Association.
Should we sign up and go?
2 days of the top gang experts in the state talking about what's going on and the latest intel and how to investigate and track intel and prosecute criminal gangs. And, you know,
That could be a nice
These are
field
the top
trip.
guys are teaching, but I heard Jelly Joe was going to present, so I'm confused. No, I'm just kidding, Jelly Joe. If you're listening, he is.
Jelly
Joe Miller
Joe.
is one of the sharpest minds I've ever worked with, and recall knows who's connected to who.
Jelly Joe.
The window, just climb back in.
Tell me, does Joe like jelly donuts by chance? Okay, we're heading into the city.
889 Maryland, where the guy just tried to
889
domestic suspect
Maryland.
tried to jump out the window.
Go up here and turn around.
Like a wider expansion of the
Oh, these roads they need some help in the spring.
Is that a burglar?
Calgary, what's your
Yeah. That should be
We got a burglar. We got a burglary? Oh, we got a burglary! We got a burglary! We're going, guys, I think. That's our siren.
Oh, they got him.
Okay, everyone. Okay. All right.
Quick.
What do I want to? Yeah, we need to mount up, basically. I don't know.
14723 there. Check the area to the south. I got his head towards that home as we can.
Yeah, they got one detained. That's good.
Oakdale PD needs us to respond. Or they can handle it.
That's weird.
I can start for 2231 Galbraith Avenue for violation of order of protection.
Anyway, yep, Jelly Joe will be there talking about gang activity in the East Metro. We have people from Hennepin County, CISA, talking about here in Minneapolis, talking about the West Side.
West Side. You saw a fork?
All
No.
kinds of very good investigators, prosecutors, and
Rosebud has her pepper spray locked and loaded. I love it.
we'll talk about the history of where we've been. And,
Aviator sunglasses. Let's roll. Let's do it.
investigations, So
Illegal
It'll be a
forks.
great time. Good information.
Should be.
A lot of networking.
we worked hard to keep the cost low.
No, we're not.
And
Clearly, we're not the first responders to this burglary, huh? Kind of taking our time
A
here.
little bit of money to send investigators to training.
Okay. Can you send us? We're investigators.
A lot of times agencies just flat out can't afford to send someone to a national conference.
Hey, Brianna.
So
The investigators should go to these conferences, I
You've
think.
been tied up with the gang activity since it really hit hard with the Vice Lords.
I remember where we are.
yeah,
The Vice Lords. The Vice Lords.
really, yeah.
And haven't you testified all over the country as a gang expert in certain trials?
Yes.
Oh, no
I
way.
have,
Oh.
Mostly here, of course, in the Midwest with everything from prosecutions to civil cases where gang members were suing.
Gang members were suing.
Suing a business.
What?
Or someone was suing the business for not protecting their loved one who was killed by a gang member. So kind of interesting.
Yeah, I think the
Couple
burglar's
cases where
long gone.
People were falsely accused of being gang members. tried to talk to the agencies and the investigators and explain to them what they'd done wrong, and they didn't want to listen.
We are right back where we started at the beginning of this. You remember this building? We're right back here. We took a right here last time.
And
Rice Street.
so,
So many times have changed, as we all know. So
copy.
I can remember in the 90s, early 2000s, you would have
Yeah.
Vice Lords, Disciples, Crips.
Oh.
You would have factions of Vice Lords, Disciples, and Crips.
right outside.
But there was kind of a hierarchy, an order to the organization,
Yes.
color coding of clothing.
Yep.
And, you know, in the gang, you're in for life. And the motorcycle gangs kind of hid their violence. So it wasn't, the more violent activity seemed to be the Disciples, the Vice Lords, caught everybody's attention, got the news' attention. And you had your illegal motorcycle organizations trying to do their human trafficking and their drug dealing kind of under the radar, hoping they wouldn't be detected while they grew in strength and financing.
right. Yeah, and then over time, you know, they get targeted for RICO investigations.
That's the only way to take
or
them down.
Continuing criminal enterprise, federal cases, and, you know, that
Copy, thank you.
expose what they're
FW11,
doing
they're
with
driving away
narcotics
from crime.
stuff. They used to make their own meth.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. They were meth
And
cookers.
they found it was a lot cheaper just to buy it from the Mexican cartels.
Wow.
Especially now, it's dramatically cheaper.
It's,
to
meth is
buy
cheap in it.
Meth from the cartels because they have so much of it and they're dumping it
Oh, no.
into markets like here.
Okay.
And so we're seeing unprecedented amounts of narcotics that we're interdicting.
Well, if you need cheap meth, go to Minnesota. They got a bunch of it.
You know, it used to be a big deal if you got it.
Yeah.
Now we're
Unfortunately, the United States is one of the largest consumers of illegal narcotics.
yeah. But I can tell you, you know, they're having just been down there, Customs and Border Patrol are doing a tremendous job of
Verify my address.
trying to intercept the Coast Guard the same, and all of the higher level, you know, drug
I thought the meth was coming from
investigators, drug
Canada.
trafficking organizations are just working their butts off, and
Isn't the meth coming from Canada, from the snow people? I could be wrong. I'm kidding. It's true. Meth was cheap there, says a grumpy nerd. I remember news articles growing up from the Mayo Clinic talking about the dangers of meth. Remember that next time there's a shortage of meds, Maz? Yeah. They're cooking meth around the corner from you? Halloweeny? Oh, no, that's not good. Don't be around that. That's not healthy.
you know, our
The snow
investigators
Mexicans.
took off pounds, I don't want to say how much,
Yeah.
of crack cocaine coming here.
Oh, we got the
and
crack, too.
a kilo of fentanyl will kill thousands of people.
Well, we used to have a lot of structure and lifetime commitment to a gang. We're seeing really the opposite of that now.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no real commitment long term to the gang. It's all about the money. What's in it for me today?
Yeah.
It's more impulsive. There's no hierarchy. You don't have to go to a leader and say, hey, is it okay if I shoot this guy in retaliation for him shooting my brother? They just do it. It used to be, you know, we could even talk to the victim side and say, hey, we know you want to retaliate. You know, we'd go to the leadership and say, hey, if you retaliate, you're just going to end up in prison too. Let us, you know, tell us what you know, and we'll work on it, you know, and we'll take them out for you. But there's now there's not a set hierarchy, and whoever's the most violent and impulsive and charismatic tends to be the leader of the group. And the groups are becoming younger, smaller, and more violent because they have to be violent to overcome the fact that they're smaller groups. And we've seen it with the carjacking and auto theft stuff.
Wow.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's
And
crazy.
Yeah.
This is Teardrop. This is the Teardrop Owl.
1528.
This is how I envision Teardrop acting gangster on the internet with her little tear. Hey, Mrs. Jones.
Yeah.
Oof,
I
God
almost
bless
said
you.
Mountain Dew, but
Oh, you would
The
have
short boat has been added to the call.
Nikki hunting you down and telling you it's poison.
Yeah,
yes,
Lucy Jane, I think the burglary's
I was
finished.
very impressed with that. With
They got
this.
away.
Yeah, they definitely were.
I think they got away.
Let's
Thug
get
drop,
in
yeah. Thug drop.
better shape.
There's nobody walked around. He might have just gone upstairs.
38 copy.
Hey, Joan. Samurai Paraic is here. Yeah.
You can send me the medical opinion.
Steve, did you know that they made school buses that long?
Each phone part two.
Made them that long?
Yeah.
61-year-old
Because you were used to the short ones.
Oh, I didn't catch that. Maybe I do belong in
That's a
Oh,
bad
buddy.
joke.
I used to drive school bus at one time.
You did?
Yeah, when I was going to college.
Should do different things.
That is a
Good
bad
job.
joke,
Yeah,
Mike
fun.
Martin.
I like to drive, one thing, right? In this profession, that's a good thing to like. But yeah, I'll go to school bus. The hours are great because you had kindergarten in the morning, then early morning, and then you'd go to your class at college, and then
The alarm company just.
you'd have two classes, 10, 11 o'clock. Go pick up the kindergartners, drop them off, pick up the next ones, and afternoon class. And so you could really design it around your schoolwork.
Because she was a feeder and lost one. We were supposed to go to this burglary, but
Well, and that's probably when kids were a little more respectful.
Well, depending on my route, believe me, I was surprised.
hi, Camel Whisperer.
Does
Hi.
McDonald's disappear?
Yeah, McDonald's at Perkins. Remember when Perkins
Yeah.
was here? Yeah, McDonald's went away.
What are these people
with
doing
their
on the
giant
street?
moon.
Let's harass them.
Showed up.
319.
By the
Yeah,
law.
a giant loon. It's a piece of work, isn't it?
Hello, doggy. Hi, Lord
It's made out of
Baroki's
walnut.
dog.
No, just
Hi.
It would disappear in a heartbeat, but it's proper.
Oh, that's funny. I remember once, and I won't say where, somewhere in the city of Minneapolis.
Okay.
I got a call from a pastor at a church, and he said that someone in his church found out that all of their siding was copper
Oh no.
on their church. And he was
Oh,
worried, the word was
no.
spreading, and he was worried that somebody was going to come and start tearing the siding off of the church.
Oh, no.
They would too. It's there's some stuff I've seen them stealing.
They're saying it's a building where they do maintenance for North Oak.
Wow. When I was looking for my house, I saw a house that had all the copper plumbing ripped out of it. All of it. Hey, Sligo Town. We are in St. Paul, Minnesota. Welcome back, Luna Spirit. So, everyone, if you weren't here on Friday, Luna Spirit is a local. And seems like she does know quite a bit. She is saying, or he, I don't know, actually they, let me know what your pronoun is, that burglary suspect was apprehended. Okay, so we're no longer going to the burglary then. Okay. What do you happen to know what we're doing now? Because it feels like we're just kind of driving around BSing. Like, are we working, or is this just like a training drive where we're just in the back seat, like hanging out with them?
Hey, Farm Hub.
1631.
I could turn here, but it's a little dangerous around
Yeah,
here.
you got a lot of traffic here. And then as soon as it lightens up, you got a guy stepping
Yeah.
off the curb on you.
349, she
You wanna run them over?
You can hear him in the living room on the main floor. Okay, get that more towards the front of the house.
Lord Barky Barky, that's so
Street level
cute.
Stuff had died down a little bit the last time I was through here, but
They're doing some remodeling on the building.
yeah, it looks like it.
5381, talking to you.
Everybody, we're watching live on Patrol in Minnesota.
About that.
So I
What if they arrest
have a
someone?
special medication I get. It's compound medication.
Oh,
I
tell me.
learned that
Okay, try to call
there's two different types of pharmacies. There's a pharmacy that has a license where they get bulk drugs in, and then when you come with a prescription, they take the bulk supply and give you a prescription amount.
Yes.
Another type of pharmacy is like this blue building we're coming up to. It's called Lloyd's Pharmacy. They have a compound license right here on the corner.
Yes.
It's great.
Yes.
And Lloyd can make a drug
Yes.
where other pharmacies can only redispense a
That's right.
prior-made drug at a manufacturer.
Yep.
So the special drug that I take, they have to make it here. And I
What's
get a
the
3-month
drug?
supply.
I'm going to try to call her.
And when
Let her know I'm going to call her.
the looters and the rioters and all that criminal activity of attacking private property and burning, that pretty much ran out of control for 2 or 3 days.
Right, yeah.
They burned down Lloyd's Pharmacy.
No.
The day I had dropped off my renewal for prescription.
Oh no.
And they're the only ones that can make it. And of course, that criminal behavior that destroyed that building. Fortunately, Lloyd's rebuilt, but it took about 8 months before they were open again. And they were very helpful for me to find a compound pharmacy out of state and worked with them to get them the prescription information so that they could make the drug and get it to me.
Awesome.
Nice.
Big ups Lloyd's
I
Pharmacy.
do all my pharmacy work at Lloyd's with that kind of customer.
Awesome. Absolutely. And you know what? We really should go to independent pharmacies whenever possible because they are few and far between nowadays. I actually have experience in compounding. I used to compound medications. So that's why I was very interested in this conversation. And myself, I'm no longer in that line of work, but I take a compounded medication, my HRT cream that I told you ladies about.
Heard about compound pharmacies and you know what they could do. I was trying to think of what the medicine was that was so scarce, but they were able to make it, which was unbelievable to me. I guess I didn't realize that there were pharmacies where they could make drugs.
Really, Sligotown? Yeah. I used
Something, I don't know if it was during COVID. Gotta have respect for people. Once again, that's one of those things that, you know, thank God there's people that know how to do that.
Yeah, it's something else.
I used to compound my mom's dog's medication for her because she was teeny tiny. And she would be dispensed 1 pill for the entire month. And then I would have to crush it up, make a slurry, and then write out the dose for my mom to give her with an oral syringe. It was 1 pill for the month. She was a Pomeranian. She was a little doggy. And sometimes I make, sometimes I'll compound stuff for these guys.
Going east towards Lexington,
They don't like taking pills at all.
near the Como area.
And if they find it in their food, they just
I haven't
spit
been
it
to the
out.
Zoo.
2231 Delbridge Avenue.
Have you with your grandkids?
For your skin meds,
I'm
Diane?
the last time I went to Como Zoo, I had my son Chad's sons,
Okay.
Christopher and Samuel.
Don't give out too much personal information there. Yeah, Maeve, you used to compound oncology meds and growth medications. Really? I was always really afraid of chemotherapy drugs. I did some 5-FU, and I would do MABs, monoclonal antibodies, but like paclitaxel, I didn't want to touch any of that stuff. I got freaked out by it. I couldn't get over it. And it's a different type of hood. I couldn't.
I think so too.
It's a mental thing, I guess.
And even as a little kid, my grandma and grandpa, when I would be 5 or 6, they'd come out and get us. And we lived out in North St. Paul, which, again, I'm aging myself, but there was nothing between the city of North St. Paul and the city of St. Paul. There was no Target, there was no McDonald's, there was no Maplewood Mall. None of that existed.
Right, yeah.
And my grandparents would come out, pick up my sister and I, my brother, and they would take us to Como Zoo, we'd see all the animals, we'd have lunch, and then we'd go on the rides. They had rides at the Como
Yeah,
Zoo. They still
yeah.
do.
Yeah. And they were very,
I'll bet this street looks really nice in the summer. Look how the trees like create a canopy over the street. I'll bet that looks really nice. Luna Spirit, that's what I was looking back. That's what police patrol is like a lot of the time, driving around until something happens. Okay, thank you. Okay. Because I don't know, like, are they just taking us out for a ride just to do it? Or, okay, so we are working. All right. Okay, did you hear that, Nestie? So still be on alert. No slacking off. Everybody just, keep alert. Okay, if you need coffee, we can stop. I know we didn't get to stop on Friday, but maybe today.
Sparky to see him.
yeah, Sparky passed away, I believe.
I think several Sparkies back.
We're on.
When I first
You're trying to
went,
tell me that Shamu isn't the original Shamu?
yeah, I'm going to break that.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. We got 20 memberships. Thank you, Lord Baroque. Woohoo! That is awesome. Thank you, Lord Baroque Wokey. We've got... Oops. Oh, it's still doing that. I don't want it to do that. All right. Okay, 20 memberships. Thank you so much, Lord Baroque. Lord Barky Warky. Jules became a member. Kathy McD got a membership. Susie Q got one. Haversham, Land Designer, Rome's Dramazone, Mystery Train, Tizzy Dawn. Also, Mia Shell, Wu-Tang Clam, The Ambro, Nicole Y, Cinnamon Girl, Goth Queen, Christina. Oh my good, Tizzy Dawn, if I didn't get you already. Monsieur Mike, Mia Shell, Kyoto Blood Rose, Veronica D, Chris Dot. Wow. Thank you so much, Lord Barky Warky. Thank you so much. Thank you. Wow, that is so generous. Thank you so much. Thank you. Everybody, if you got a membership from Lord Barky Warky, please be sure to give them a big shout out in the chat. Thank you so much. So generous.
When I first went to see Sparky, the trainer wore white pants, a white shirt, like a uniform shirt, and a white uniform hat like a cop would wear, Garrison hat. And he was the official trainer of Sparky. You know, as time went on, it became shorts and like a safari shirt. Then there would be men and or women that were trainers, but the SEALs are very intelligent. They were able to train them to do a lot.
Yeah, it's... When I went to San Diego last week.
You have to use the bathroom, FW11? Oh my God. Look. Okay. I didn't say at the beginning of the stream to go before we get in the car, so okay, all right. Can you just hop out of the car right now and go real quick behind a tree and then hop back in before the green light? That would be great. Thanks. Okay.
I went a few days early, and my wife Ann went with me. And we went down to La Jolla, because that's somewhere we used to go when I was a kid. I lived there. And we would go to La Jolla Cove to take our Christmas pictures and whatever. But it was a kind of a crappy day.
That's illegal?
Rainy.
Oops.
Windy, and all the sea lions were up on the rocks up by they were very close to where you walk up above, and the smell was so bad. It was not good. But yeah, they're amazing. Mute you for just a second.
All right. Yeah, you want to hop out right now? We won't look. You're all done? Oh, that was fast. Okay, thank you. That was real fast.
And we're back.
I thought the big one call was coming in, but it was spam.
Ooh. Hey, Jamie.
Apparently they want me to sign up for a loan if I would just send them all my personal info. I could give them all.
You should do that.
Paula and her girls, Lillis.
Think about it.
The scammers out there are just unbelievable. Even a lot of you, I'm sure, saw on Facebook, Jim Moody, the assistant to the sheriff, gets a phone call the other day of a scammer. The crook claimed to be Captain Moody from the Ramsey County Sheriff's Department.
I didn't know he got promoted.
Yeah. So here's this guy who's too lazy to go out and get a job. He's trying to steal from good, hardworking people, and yet he's just not sure who he's calling. He ends up calling Ramsey County. The guy that is the nicest guy in the Sheriff's Department knows everybody in the Sheriff's Department, and then he says he's him, but a captain. Oh, well.
Hey, Kathy.
Did Jim ask for captain's pay?
We're back in St. Paul today.
You probably put in for
send
it.
a memo. Apparently, I've been secretly promoted.
The captain. Nobody told me.
Number one, Jim is the nicest guy in the sheriff's office.
Extremely talented. There's not much he can't do.
No. And, but last guy you want to try to scam.
Yeah.
And,
yeah, Azalea, no leaves yet.
We will never, ever, ever call you and tell you you owe us money. or that you have a warrant, or you missed jury duty.
Or what about my
then you
grandson
pay
in
a
jail?
fine to make up for it. And if you just send us gift cards,
Gift
or
cards.
buy the gift cards, then call and give me the number. We will never, ever, ever ask you for money.
Anybody who calls you and asks you to get gift cards, to send them money, but don't tell anybody and stay on the phone, I'm guaranteeing you they're a crook, they're a con artist, as sweet and as nice as they sound. That's how come they're able to trick people and get their money.
Yeah.
Hang up on them. Don't
That's
listen
right.
to them.
That's right.
It's not true.
You don't have to be
And
nice.
they'll claim to be someone legitimate. They'll get a name out of the paper. They'll look on our website and say, yeah, I'm Under Sheriff Mike Martin, and you missed jury duty. That's always a scam. Cops will never ask you for money unless they're fundraising.
Tater Tot Hot Dish says, now they tell me. A lot of people fall for them, yeah. So we're on the same route again. We're going in the same roads. We'll get to know the neighborhood pretty well, I guess.
For example, you're buying or you're paying for a permit to carry for that application, then you might have to pay for that at the counter in the sheriff's office. But we will never proactively contact you.
Yeah, I had a good friend, Steve, I won't say his last name. He's a realtor in town, and he called me up and said, hey, apparently I got an outstanding parking ticket. I didn't know about it. I got a call from the sheriff's office. They want me to send, $3,000 worth of credit card or gift cards. Can I just drive down and pay it? And I said, Steve, are you talking to him on another phone? He goes, I said, hang up on him. That's a scam. We would never call you ever and ask for that.
No.
I said, it's a scam. I guarantee you, there's no warrant out for your arrest. There's no it's a lie. Save them a few $1,000.
I had a good friend, a friend of my wife's, that same thing. They used the actual name of somebody who works up at our patrol station, and and had a good story, but never. That's one of the things I love about being a cop is we don't have to deal with money.
Yeah.
That, and there are some states where, cops can pay a fine right out at the scene. Not here. Not in Minnesota. Not a good idea. So that
Kit
doesn't mean I'm
Boga
not
is the
calling
best,
you
huh?
and say, hey,
Yeah, I'll bail you out.
I need to pay.
CBD Kratom over here on that sign with the gas. Oh, freezing up. Oh, they got Planet Fitness out there, of course.
About all the
Dollar
different
Tree.
specialty license. You do have committee to go with the Minnesota plate. I have no idea. I've never seen that design before. I didn't know.
Yeah.
And so it's harder to identify for a lot of people license plate state of origin because you got kind of got away from what the fact the license plate was for. It's going to get to the point where somebody's going to show up with just a regular standard license plate, and somebody's going to think it's forged because it's not fancy.
Right. Sure aren't wasting any taxpayer dollars on fixing my street.
Yeah, for real. Those roads are kind of rough. Spam calls you might pick up, and they start, I will say, not interested. When they continue on, I hang up normally, not slam the phone down. Yeah, that's good, Abriana. It's good that you can tell, that you know. Anyone calling you asking you for money is, no good. Leanna says, went to a movie. Now I'm back. I have a headache from being dehydrated from yesterday to today. Drink some water. Lots of it. So, yeah, if you do go to jail...
Chicken, that's pretty popular.
The chicken, yeah. So Amos says to ham and beans, okay, because they have a special friendship, or no, actually not friendship. No, it's love. Okay, it's love. Amos says, I'm putting money on your books so you can be rolling in instant ramen and cigarettes. That is, can you even still get cigarettes in prison? Can you? Or just jail? I have no idea. That's very sweet of you. Very, very sweet. And Ham and Bean says that is the most romantic thing any woman has ever said to me. Honey buns. What about the honey buns? That's how people get fat in jail. The honey buns. She's an amazing woman. I love it. I love it. Lord Barky Warky says, if anyone goes to jail, they'll put something on your commissary for you, on your books. Very nice. Very nice. I was tracking that guy in South Carolina. What's his name? Murdoch. His commissary purchases. He was getting like summer sausages, crackers. I had his whole list of what he was buying.
But I think of that.
Doesn't look like very good food.
I have come to believe that the author of the Minnesota Driver's Manual really failed to communicate to people what the legalities of driving are, because the driving conduct I see clearly shows they don't know.
A lot of them, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I've seen a lot more people that I stop lately who believe that driving isn't right.
Yeah, not a privilege.
Not a privilege. Gosh.
I got a piece of paper for you, Mike.
He's getting a ticket.
Just trying to catch up to this car here.
Oh, we're catching up to a car?
It matches the description of the one that was stolen, but
Oh my
I
God.
think that one was supposed to be gray and this one was blue.
Is that the Compass? That's not a Compass.
Oh, that's a different plate number.
Yeah.
I thought it was a two.
PD wanting to
It's
report.
Toyota. We didn't hear about that one.
952.
Yes, Jennifer Levine, we're back on patrol. Welcome. Get your badge. Get your vest. We're going. Let's go.
Can you tell me what this plate comes back to? Charlie Hotel Alpha Mike Oscar Romeo Oscar.
Shit, wow.
That working again?
It's always on. The camera is. But the LPR is not. The LPR goes off. It'll last about 5 minutes. Then it takes
That's frustrating, huh?
5 minutes to sign it back on.
Oh, the LPR, the license plate reader.
To,
Keep your wings where I can see them.
then look at it and go, oh, it's good. It's all set up. So I don't know what it is when it works. It's nice.
Yeah.
Do you have one?
No. No, but I'm thinking about putting one in.
It's, you know what?
Yeah, I'm running them all the time and
Yeah.
have it done automatically. I think I'm missing something.
Can you call Consulate if you get the chance?
Yeah, I don't know if it has something to do with the wiring in here or it's the unit, the hardware. Give a shout out today. Happy birthday to my oldest son, Danny.
Oh, happy birthday.
Called him earlier today. His boss made a cake for him.
Oh,
And they
we're
had
just
donuts in the break room. I'm like, so
thought we were gonna
basically what you're saying
fly
is
through that stop
you're
sign.
going to be in a diabetic coma in no time.
Well, I do love cake. That's
This
what
is
I
live,
do.
Shaxinator. We're a little bit behind, but this is live today, right now. We're doing good, Lignid Jennifer. How are you?
Very funny text there, Mary.
Love your sister, Mary. Love you, Mary. Hopefully Steve gave you your Tupperware back. And I'll be honest with you, I wasn't exactly sure that was yours. Because I looked at two, they look very similar. So,
I requested sent to St. Paul to do welcome checks. You can clear North St. Paul spots recording.
that car back there looked like a Lego.
So there was an arson over the weekend, I believe. 2 10-year-olds started a fire and it spread. So we are looking for some
We're on
juvenile delinquents.
Westminster.
Oh, look at the shoes.
Yeah.
You see the shoes hanging up here on the wire? I know this is a drug thing, but like what specifically does it mean? That like this is the place to buy it, basically? Like on the corner? Hey, Sunshine 2.0 Heathen Podcom, how are you? It's awesome to see you. I see your expose video and dragging of Yo Mama is doing very well. And congratulations on exceeding 500 subscribers. That is excellent. Excellent. You guys, if you want to hear a dragging of Yo Mama, if you're, if you're not past it quite yet, because, hey, some of us are dealing with things, I suggest going to check out these amazing ladies. And here is a link to them. Okay. This is Sunshine 2.0. Here we go. Check them out when you get a moment. So yeah, once you reach 500 and you probably have the watch time hours, you can get yourself monetized there, girl. You might want to think about it. Even if just to, some people say they don't want to be monetized, they're going to run ads anyway. So you might as well take the money instead of most of it going to YouTube. That was an epic drag. It was, wasn't it? Yeah. It was an urban legend with the shoes. That's not a thing? Oh, then what are they doing up there, though? Like to this day? Because those shoes have been up there on the wires since I was a kid. It means the stuff is in? Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, I never got into, thank God. I never got into that. Allegedly, it's where you buy, but I think most of them are just people messing around. But why would you waste a pair of shoes for that? I don't know. Hey, Kimberlina. Okay.
At Maryland.
Oh, really, Kirsten?
Southbound,
There's a lot of
but I
shoes
may
where you
have to
work.
adjust here
The link
'cause
doesn't
this time
work?
of day,
What?
the
I
traffic
copied it
may
directly
not allow
from
me
their channel.
to do this easily.
Let's see.
Steve says he doesn't mind if they
Works for
crash
me.
into his side of the car.
It brought it right up.
Always wanting to help the team.
Take one for the team.
Okay.
Well, I wish we had more going on.
Pretty quiet.
That's okay, Mike Martin, Undersheriff. You can't have... It's good that you don't have a lot going on in your community. Really.
Look at this guy's shoes over here. That's
Well,
the
they're
guy
bright.
that's the guy you want running from.
Yeah, you're going to follow him.
See him for 3 miles.
It'd be pitch dark out here, I'll find him.
Oh, those are some bright shoes.
Well, police work really comes down to interacting with people, talking to people, boots on the ground. There's great technology to assist and help. The cameras that the highway department run and the dispatchers of the state that run them do a fantastic job and clearly help us clear more calls with them than without. The state helicopter, drones, the license plate readers, all help. Great technology to keep people safer. Criminals hate them because they help us catch them. And good
Yeah,
citizens
I'll bet.
love them.
How much do they
I
cost?
know, well, I do know because I used to work without all this technology, but boy, has it made us more effective.
No, I'll bet.
Yeah.
To be able to get on the air and have state patrol helicopter, or to have in their comm center monitoring the cameras so we can track a vehicle without having to go 110 miles an hour.
Oh, that's good.
It's
Makes things safer.
unbelievable. There's so many times when we're looking
Regents
for a car and they're
Hospital.
like, oh, it just took the Maryland exit or
Exactly.
whatever. Oh, okay.
Hey, Nancy.
So
So you add that to the citizens that help us, the smart, good boot work on the ground, technology.
That's good.
It all adds.
Oh,
to
it depends on the
driving crime
meaning.
down. And
Okay. It depends on the area, I
Ramsey
mean.
County Sheriff's Department, they've done a lot of work on car theft, carjack, guns. We've taken a lot of guns off the street.
Good.
And we work in conjunction with the Ramsey County Attorney's Office and cooperate with our other law enforcement agencies in Minneapolis, St. Paul, Maplewood, White Bear, Mountains View, Roseville, Brighton, North St. Paul. I don't want to miss anything when you start
no, I mean there's just
But,
so many.
yeah, and it's not just Ramsey County and Hennepin County agencies work with this. The Bureau of Criminal Apprehension. It's when law enforcement uses that technology and they work together and share information.
Yep. Yep, working together is important, for sure. So, yeah, I know that Chantal has posted a couple of mukbangs and has gone live a few times. I listened to her live stream today, and there was literally nothing. There was like nothing that she talked about. Nothing. She started to talk about evolution, which I don't even know why she attempts to go into complex topics. She said she doesn't really know what Islam means, like, I don't even, whatever, right? Whatever. So the mukbangs are disgusting. She has nothing to say. The live stream, she has nothing to say. But I do think that today she was faking being sick. She said she wasn't feeling well. And, oh, are we done? Oh, is it over? It's over? No. Is it? It's over. Oh, how long have we been watching? Let's see. Oh, almost an hour and a half. Okay. I guess that's pretty good. All right. So, yeah, she really hasn't had a lot to say. And I'm still just, I don't know. I think I got so, it was just saturated, absolutely saturated. And I'm so sick of her that I can't even, I really don't have anything to say other than, like, I just feel like I'm being mean, the things that come to my mind to say, and it's just being mean because I can't stand her. So it's not really adding anything, you know what I mean? Like, there, of course, we know there are other channels who will do that, and they'll probably do it way better than me. I just don't have anything of value to add to her, like, nothing content. And it makes me mad to look at her. So, Nancy, can you share something your 5-year-old cousin said? Of course. Militia Bunny, I'm so sorry. I didn't know I was sitting on your wing. I'm so sorry. I hope all your feathers are still there. Oh, my God. Yeah. She is boring. If only she could ask an imam. If only she were in an Islamic country where she could get answers. Imagine that. Yeah, the mukbangs are boring and they're gross. They're disgusting. I can't even watch the screen when she's doing a mukbang. And then when you're not watching, you're waiting for her to get the words out. And she keeps taking bites throughout the sentence. And I'm like, I can't do this. I cannot do this. So, like, the hijab video, I would have had something to add to that, but I was just getting, like, I felt like the commentary would just be unnecessarily mean, and I don't want to do that, you know, just to put out a video or just to do a live stream. So, yeah, I guess it's shift changing, Brianna. Yeah, we had a short ride along, but they do go live again on Friday, so I'll see you back here for sure for that. Yeah, she's boring. Same stuff every day with her. Eat, rage, sick. Yes. Yep. It's true. To be fair, she has nothing to anything anyway, right? Yeah. You thought the exchange she had with the woman about the cats was interesting? That's the other thing. I can't watch. I mean, it was the other day I woke up. She had been live. I go to watch it. And the first thing she says is, oh, there's an injured bird. And I'm like, nope. No, I'm out of here. No. You're not going to bait me with injured animals. Get out of my town. You suck. You know? So, yeah, it did seem that a woman was trying to tell her, like, oh, well, you know, you keep bringing the cats around here with your food, then they're going to be noticed and they're going to be poisoned. And I saw one chat was really appalled at that. I've been talking about that since I started my channel. That is why I have my dogs. It's thought that their mother was poisoned after they were born, which in turn, she's nursing them. They would have died. So it's very common. And I don't talk about it explicitly because I don't want to traumatize people with the stories. I don't like to think about it. And there's nothing you and I can do about that. And it is a cultural way of thinking that is different. And it is unbelievably frustrating to try to get people to see it the way that you see it when they've never seen it that way. It's frustrating, and at the end of the day, you can't really do much. So I haven't talked about it specifically. Yeah, they poison dogs probably more than the cats, because the cats, they feel, have, well, I don't want to say they feel, they, you, us, they, us, them. It's not like that. But I took home a cat from the school that I was working at, a kitten who had been orphaned, and people looked at me like I was crazy. You know how many times I heard Chawega Magnuna, crazy foreigner, because I took a little kitten and I brought it into the headmistress's office to sit down with her and clean her ears with some tissue I had in my bag. And everyone looked at me like I was nuts. And they were like, oh, it's that cat again. And they're like nannies, but they're not. That's what they call them. They were feeding the cat little pieces of bread when they were taking their breaks and stuff. And the cat was just coming around. I brought like a little plastic cup of water out to the cat because she just looked beyond dehydrated. And then I heard the headmistress telling the gardener to get rid of the kitten once and for all. And the gardener had already thrown her over the school wall, and she came back. So I took the cat home that night. I'm like, that's okay. I'll get rid of the cat. And the cat came home with me. And Thanksgiving that year, stole a turkey leg off of our turkey. Enjoy it, honey. So cats get poisoned, yes, but dogs get poisoned more because they cause more havoc. So I showed you guys, like some of you saw where I lived and the apartment buildings that were being built, and they're all open. So dogs will go up to the rooftop at night and howl. People don't like that. Or you go out to your car that's on the street in some neighborhoods, and the dogs are like laying on the hood of your car or the roof. And they get scratched up. Your car gets scratched up. So the cats, people just think, oh, they carry diseases, don't touch them. But the dogs, like, they really target. So... But in Egypt, there are trap, neuter, release programs. And I guess there isn't one in Kuwait, which is mind-boggling because Egypt doesn't have money for that, and they wouldn't put money to that. So it's all done by private donations, and there aren't enough people there who care about animals to do that. But it seems like in Kuwait, they have more than enough money to do that. But they don't see it as a solution for some reason. It would be great to have the local university, if people are trained to become veterinarians, to take those animals there to be spayed and neutered, and the students have these animals to practice the surgery on with supervision, inshallah, and then release them back to where they live. And they're not going to keep reproducing. I mean, it's pure common sense to most of us. And they have the money to do it. That's what's mind-boggling, and they don't. They just lay out poison. And I was always afraid in my back area where the dogs were, like, throughout the day. Like, you know, if you saw my fence, we had, like, a wire fence with bamboo tied together for, like, some privacy. But I was worried. I didn't want the dogs to learn Arabic because I just thought, like, people are going to get mad that I have all these dogs here, obviously. I mean, you know, that would be normal. And if someone walks by and, like, you know, calls them over, if they understand Arabic, to go over and not to be wary of strangers, like, someone could throw a poisoned piece of meat over the fence, and then what, I lose half my dogs? Like, and then I have to go kill somebody in a foreign country? That's not good. Where was I going with that? Oh, so the woman on the beach telling Chantal, stop feeding the cats because, you know, yeah. And I'm sure she didn't understand that. And she's really just worried about herself and how she looks online. Like, look at me. I'm the patron saint of cats. And look at me feeding the animals of Kuwait. Aren't I a benevolent, wonderful person That's all she cares about. Literally, that's all she cares about. She doesn't care if those cats die. She didn't care that she stepped on a cat's paw. She's not going to care if those cats die. Not at all. Hello, 000. How's it going? So, yeah. That's my rant, I guess, was built up a little bit. So that's the kind of energy that I would be bringing to a reaction. But it would be over less important things. And I don't want to get in that headspace. I'm just not ready to go back to her yet. I'm just not. I don't know. We'll see. I would think in the next couple of days or so, sometime this week. But I don't know. We'll see. Fran's back. Had to answer the door again. I like my husband working from home, but when he has a teleconference, it never fails. People come to the door. I can see who it is on my phone. Oh, that's good. Nancy Jennings, my 5-year-old cousin, said that she looked like a bouncy house. Those things you inflate. She said Chantal looks like a bouncy house. Wow, that's pretty good. We like that. Yes, we thank you, Nancy.
Pizza flavor? Pizza chips. Get out of my town.
I like that. Thank you. That's awesome. That is awesome. You like them, Tater Tot Hot Dish? I do too. And I like how we don't know what's going to happen. Like, they're not pre-recorded videos. Although, I could find some older videos. They've been doing this a long time. Some older videos where I know something happens. And just like, and then we can really go on like a chase or something. So we could do that too. Yeah, I can't with the animals either, Darkest Coven. I just can't. The bird was fine. Was it even a bird, though? Yeah. Hey, the den. How's it going? Sansa's trying to get a local rescue to check on the paw cat. Yeah. Yeah. I know. Why you have somber greetings, the den? Are you okay? Cats keep mice and rats down. Yep, they do. Oh, the den. Yeah. But I mean, think of, that's why I don't like to talk. I mean, there was a chat. Everyone was like, oh my God, I can't believe this. Like, I've been talking about it for 2 years, off and on, a little bit. I'm just not trying to traumatize people who come to hang out, The world sucks, generally. So that's I prefer not to dwell on it. But if you think of this, I mean, the 10 dogs, 10 puppies could have died that day. But a foreigner was in that neighborhood, not where I live, where the mother dog was with my dogs, and saw that she didn't look like she was feeling well. She put all the puppies in a box, and she was going to take them to the car. Or no, she was taking the mom to the vet. She picked up the mom, was going to put the mom in the car, but the mom dog was looking back at all of her puppies, so she went back and got a box and put all the puppies in a box. They all went to a vet in kind of it's not a foreigner area, but it's like where embassies are and stuff. So the vets there are going to be a little more rational. So the mom died, and then there were 10 puppies that were 12 days old. So she contacted one of the shelters that I had volunteered at previously, and they put out a message on Facebook. Can anyone help us bottle feed 10 12-day-old puppies? And almost 14 years later, these guys that I have here are going to be 14 in May. So we took all 10. We bottle fed all 10. I've had 5 of them here with me where I live. There's one in a neighboring state. So puppies that were meant to pass away that day are like, not only did they live, they're in the United States of America living their best life. So it is uplifting. People do care. People, if that woman hadn't taken them all to the vet, I wouldn't have them. Yeah. Animals do have souls. I agree. Yep. Oh my God, Alec, that is horrific. She was never charged? I feel like if a person doesn't get justice in this lifetime, they will in the next. I know that to be true from my belief, for myself. We need some spicy action, McGuencia. Okay. Probably like in a few days, then midweek, if Chantal hasn't done something like slightly interesting, then yeah, I'll look for like a chase or something, or like a pullover that gets spicy. Yeah, definitely. You're just tired of her cat deflection and cluelessness. Yep. You love pigs, Jacksonator, not just because they're super smart, super cute too, and they're not dirty. It just often seems like it because of the way they're kept, right? Yep. Absolutely, the den. These pups have changed my entire life. They really have. I mean, I don't even know where I would be, what I would be doing to this day. Because for the last almost 14 years, every single major decision I've made in my life has been with them in mind first. Wonder what Chantal would have done if the bird was indeed injured. She's too lazy to do anything. Well, that's the thing. Like, what is she thinking? Like, what are you going to do? I wouldn't know what to do with an injured bird. I'd have no idea. I'd be afraid of hurting it more by trying to help. Like, I don't know how to help a bird. How would she doesn't know. She doesn't care. So, yeah. Can you get the link to the Heathens channel again? Yes. Here it is. Yep. Sunshine 2.0 Heathens Podcom is where on Saturday, Yo Mama received a pretty good dragging. Yep. Paranormal Empire, aka Eerie Pepperoni. I was like, wow, I didn't know she could drag like that. It was impressive. I was like, okay. My goodness. Yeah. He was walking down the side of a road, a turtle. Oh, just Jamie. You thought it was going to get hit? God bless you. You sub to the Heathen's Darkest Coven? Awesome. Good. It's like there's channels that just like don't get enough attention. You know what I mean? So many. In my state, if it's not a native bird species, the rescue has to kill it. So even if you think you're helping it, sometimes you're not. Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah. Used to watch Eerie react to Foodie Booty. Yeah. Yeah, I guess she left Gore World altogether. You had a box in your trunk. You were terrified, but you picked it up. It was a big guy. Oh. Yeah, I'd be freaked out too. I just like imagining putting things in my mouth, one bite, not like horrifically, but like Kirby. Like Kirby. Let me look at I've been saving videos for us to watch together. So let me take a look at that list and see what's on there. Diddy's Abandoned Mansion? Nah, that's boring. Boring. Oh, actually, I do have a couple about... Yes. I do have some that I specifically saved to watch with you guys at some point. Yeah, there is okay, look, it's going to be a little bit salacious, okay, but if you're up for it, it's 5 signs your Arab Muslim man is playing you. What do you think? You want to do it? 5 signs, what to look for. Oops. And maybe some of it applies to Chantal. Oops. Sorry. Okay, let's do it. Yeah, it's good during Ramadan. Sometimes all these like Muslim channels come out that you don't see normally. Okay, and... Okay, 5 signs your Arab Muslim man is playing you. And let's see, the channel is Fouad Talks. Oh, he's a small creator too, 5,000 subscribers. So I'll get his link for us. And this isn't a super long video, but I think it'll be interesting. And we'll see how many of the signs Salah fulfills. There we go.
That your family and me and everyone who is a little bit ahead of you in terms of age would tell you that you should always consult your father. If you want to assess if the man is playing you or not, if he is serious or not, it is always better to consult your father, your parents, because they know better. There is logic behind this advice, because your father can see things you cannot see. Your parents, your family can see things you cannot see, especially if you are too young. But I can understand you may be in an environment where you're now looking for ways to figure things out on your own. So I hope that by this video you will get more clarity on what you should look for. First thing first, as a general thing, what your parent, what your father would do when he's assessing the man that comes and proposes to you, he would see where he is standing in life. Is he ready for commitment? Financially, mentally, spiritually, is he wise enough? Is he already a man or he's still just a kid? And these are exact.
What do we think? Is Salah a man or just a kid? That's almost rhetorical, we all know.
The points that you would overlook when you are blinded by your emotions. You will not be able to differentiate whether this individual that you're interested in is a grown-up man or he's still a kid. And it usually requires life experience to be able to differentiate that. And it requires you to think logically and not emotionally. Because what the man tells you about where he stands in life, at what stage, what he's ready for and what he's not ready for, does not necessarily mean that it is accurate. So the first thing, as a young lady who do not have much experience in life and who's not also willing to consult the parents or consult the family, if you want to realize whether the man is ready to get into marriage, you need to understand where this man is in life. Is he ready for commitment? Because when the man is not ready, he will take temporary women until he gets ready. And usually, if he is Muslim, he knows that what starts haram, the ending of this start will never be pleasing.
Right.
And that's what...
Right, when it starts without God in mind first, it's not going to end well.
We see Muslim men, those who are still conscious and those who are still considering God, they do not follow up with their bad history. They start from a new page elsewhere. They consider these women as their bad history, the memory that they don't want to remember. So if the man is not ready, whether he is serious or not should not be a concern to you, because your position, your situation with him is not correct. You being in contact with him is not correct, because you could be just another cigarette that he will light up and throw. So you should not risk testing if he is serious or not. And that's what your father usually do. He assess and he see the man is ready or not. Because if he is not, then here he's just taking you as a temporary thing until he gets ready.
Yep. You're right, Darkest Coven. She might be a temp, yes. And I was watching another lady who was saying like things to look out for if you're not Muslim and if you're dating a Muslim man. And this was actually what she said too, basically. Like that, you know, if they're having sex with you, if they're like you're dating and, you know, you're just, you know, whatever, like he's not taking you seriously. If you haven't met his family, he's not taking you seriously, like at all. I don't mean just like a brother or two. Like you should be brought to the parents immediately and he should want to meet your parents immediately. And that's just how Muslims are supposed to do things. Like when I've met men who were interested, they would tell me straight up, I want to get to know you for the purpose of marriage. just so you know, like out of the gate, like I'm not here to play you or to sleep with you. I'm like, I'm being serious with you. And when can I talk to your father? Even as like an older woman still. So maybe a cigarette. She might be a cigarette. Oh, Wilson, we just ended our patrol. Nothing much was happening. I'm going to get you the link to this guy's channel once the video is over.
And trust me, when he gets ready, you'll not be his first option. And I'm talking here about Muslim men, okay? I'm talking about Muslim men who have conservative families. They pray, they go to Jum'ah, they read Quran, they fast Ramadan.
Jumu'ah is the Friday prayer, and it's obligatory for men to go to the mosque on Fridays for the Friday prayer. Women do not have to. So if a man is going to the Friday prayer in person every Friday, that's a pretty good sign that he's a practicing Muslim, for sure.
I'm talking about these families, not the liberal families and those who are just Muslims by name. And also this applies to you. This applies to you if you are Muslim and you have also a conservative family. If your family is conservative, this is how they would look at any prospects or any potential husbands. So the first sign to know if the man is playing you is that he will not be ready for marriage, but he will still want to be with you. It will be more of a dating thing. And the second sign is that the man will pressure you to do haram things with him. He will pressure you to be physical with him. He will suggest you have sex together. He will suggest you sleep together. He will want to be more intimate with you, as if you were his wife. And at this point, you should already know that you decide whether you want to be used as a bridge from the place where he is right now to his future life, or you want to be a future life to someone else. Because now you will only be used temporarily. Once his life gets better, his choices will also become better. And for a Muslim man, a better choice is always a woman who does not do haram things. And this applies to people who are Muslims, not just by name. So if you'll be able to assess if this man is Muslim by name or not, if his family are Muslims by name or not, these are part of the assessments that your father would do usually. They would assess the family. So if you are watching this, you can use some of these steps to know if his family are religious or not. Because even if the man at the moment he's not religious and he wouldn't care, even if he slept with you before marriage, you believe he will also marry you after that when the opportunities are better for him and his life condition is better, when he's more ready for marriage. You should also look at his family, because they should have an influence on him. Even if he is now going way left because of the upbringing of his family, if they are religious, God might put him on the right path. Usually I'm telling you from my point of view, how I view things around me, Arabs don't want anything to do with their past. It is a box they close and they throw in the ocean. They don't want to open it again. So you decide if you want to risk believing that this man is different and your case with him is different or not. It doesn't matter whether it is a hug, a kiss, or full cardio session. It's all the same.
He said full cardio session. A full cardio session. So what happens if your father is not alive? I'm scrolling back to find that. Yeah, because my father is deceased. Yeah, suburban hillbilly. What happens if your father has passed and no brothers? That is actually my situation entirely. So he wanted to meet my mother immediately. And if you are heading towards marriage, like I don't have necessarily I have uncles and stuff, but I don't feel like I really have a male guardian who would know what's best for me, especially at this point in my life. But typically, and this is something that Suhaib Webb, Imam Suhaib Webb, I've talked about him before, but he was the imam at a mosque when I first reverted, and I've heard him talk endlessly about all kinds of topics, and he's also a revert, and he has discussed this very topic. Like, what if you're a revert and you're middle-aged or older, you don't have any male family members? Like, what do you do? What do you do? And he was saying, basically, if you are looking for marriage and you want a Muslim man, which if you're a Muslim woman, you have to, then you should really be involved in the mosque and mosque activities, and then get to know the ladies at the mosque. In turn, you'll get to know the imam. You'll get to know, you'll want to let the imam know also of your intention, that you do want to get married, that you are looking for marriage. And I mean, sometimes they make the imam like the matchmaker, like, oh, well, this guy over here wants to get married, and oh, she wants to. But he can also be kind of, it's called a wali. He can also kind of stand in for you. Not stand in for you, but check the marriage contract and check him over. Like, is this a man that is worthy of this woman? And is this contract fair for both parties? But he would be representing the woman. So this situation happens more often than you'd think, because if you're not born and raised Muslim, if you're not in a primarily Islamic country, people there are encouraged to marry young and have children right away and all that stuff. So that's already happening. But, you know, what if you've already lived a life and you're going into your second life and you're Muslim now? Like, who speaks up for you? Who checks things for you? Like, Chantal didn't have anyone check into Salah for her. Now, we're just speaking as if this is a real relationship, right? You know, whatever. Okay, whatever. But she didn't have someone to look over his family, to talk to his family, to see what are Salah's true intentions. If he was saying, I love you, I want to marry you. Right away, right off the bat, he said he loved her after a couple of days of chatting online. So, you know, that's a pretty big red flag. And anyone, if she did have a male guardian, you know, if it's a real, you know, if it wasn't a prearranged contract or whatever, then that would have been sussed out right away. Right away. But, yeah. But I don't think she was necessarily looking for like a lifelong marriage with a decent guy. I don't think she was looking for that. She just kept talking about how hot he was, you know? Oh, no problem, Suburban Hillbilly. No problem at all. I hope that answers your question. Physical, emotional weightlifting, yes. No, cardio. Cardio session.
It's all haram. And you and I know that what starts with the haram will also have an ending that we will not be happy with. It's not just what your father and your mother are telling you. It is the truth. You may know it, you may not know it, but it is the truth. And you don't want to have this proven to you that it is the truth. It's better to know the theory of it. And a smart person learns from his own mistakes. And a wise one learns from others' mistakes. So it is better for you to accept the theory and learn from other people's mistakes. It is the truth, there is no doubt there. If things are shady at the beginning, then you should also trust that they will be also shady at the end. Yep. So we said the first sign, the man will not be ready to establish a family. He will not be ready for a commitment. And the second sign, he will pressure you to do haram things with him. He will come up with many suggestions. Let's do this and then we will do Y. Instead of doing Y and then we do X. And the typical thing is to do Y and then do X. So I hope you get the idea. The next sign is when the man is not ready for marriage. The first point was when he is not ready for marriage based on observing his life. and at what stage in life he is. Because if he's still a kid, he will tell you that he's ready for marriage. But the third point here I want to highlight is when the topic of marriage is brought up, he will tell you, no, I'm not ready yet. I still have this master degree, I still have this PhD degree. So he's telling you that he's not ready. And perhaps you also met him in school or at uni. So maybe you are close to his age. So if you will have to wait for him until he finishes his PhD, your opportunities are not going to be equal to his, because your biological clock isn't the same as his. At this point, it's not a question of whether he is playing you or not. It's a question whether you both can have something together at all. Because he's not ready for marriage, he has different priorities, and you have different priorities. And you cannot play that game of let's figure things out for many years, and then it might happen and it might not happen. Then you lost all these years. So it's not a good option to consider, not only to have, it's not a good option to consider. Because these are many years, these are 1, 2, 3 years that you could be doing something else, you could be already having a family with someone else. So before you go deeper into an option like that, think about what are your priorities, and think also about your time. Because if the man tells you, no, I'm not ready yet for marriage, and you already have a connection, or you're already meeting this man, and there's also some feelings there, and you both consider yourselves as something, that's not a good sign. You cannot be dating or meeting the man regularly and for many years, 2, 3 years, then what's the guarantee for you that it will end up somewhere?
Right.
If you view the situationship you have with him as dating, and he is Muslim, then that's not a good sign. Because Muslims don't date. We already spoke about this multiple times in the channel. Muslims don't date. True, they can communicate with you and meet with you multiple times, but it would be for a purpose to marry you. You can be engaged and then communicate for 1 year, 2 years, it depends. Sometimes it's less than that, usually it's less than that. But you'd be already engaged. Families will be already involved. But I will not meet this lady at the university and we will start going out regularly and we will be like these Westerners who are dating. We meet up and we speak a lot on the phone, and when the topic of marriage pops up, we say, oh no, I'm not ready for this, I haven't thought about this yet, let's keep the things how they are right now, and I'm not ready, I have my PhD, I still have this project, I still have this, and like the person is evading the topic of marriage, then it is better to not consider this option. And the other sign that this man could be playing you is that he wouldn't care about your modesty. Whether you are Muslim or Christian, he wouldn't care. If you see that this man is religious, again, you have always to assess how religious this man is, okay? Because we have Westernized Arabs that are exactly the same as Westerners. But if this man is religious, you know that he is religious, he's a person who prays, and he also has a religious family. And you show up, you're dressing immodestly, you speak with other men, and he doesn't care about that. For him, it's normal. Then this is a sign that you mean not much for him. Because any religious man, any Muslim man would not want to see a potential wife dressing immodestly without giving her at least a comment. So if he's not protective of you, it means that he's not considering you as a wife or as a long-term thing. The same analogy that I have used previously about the house and the furniture, we can use it also here. You rent something, you don't care. But you buy something for the long term, you care, and you focus on the smallest details. And here, for sure, you cannot use this as a way to test whether he is serious about you or not. I don't advise and I don't suggest you go dressing immodestly in the street just to see if he is serious or not. There are many signs that are going to prove that to you, but this is perhaps if you are not Muslim, if you are Christian, and you meet a man and he sees you, I don't know, speak with another man, or he sees you in a way that is not appropriate, he should give you a comment.
Now, keep in mind, he is not speaking like Chantal talks about talking with men, or how Murad's wife didn't want to talk to the Lulu ice cream guy. This is not what he's talking about. So, I mean, when she says stuff like that, I'm like, she just doesn't get out. You can tell she does not ever get out of the house, and she never goes out with Salah or anybody. You can tell. So my former partner, it's normal to talk to. It's normal to talk to, if there's a male cashier and I'm going up and I'm paying, I'm gonna say hello to him. If he says, "Oh, hi," do you, I'm gonna have not like involved conversation, but like I can talk to a man. And I've always worked there was only one place I worked that wasn't co-ed in Egypt, but every place else, like, these are my coworkers. This is my boss. These are people I have to speak with. You're not going to have your husband in the background saying, "Oh no, you can't talk to men." Like, hello, I'm working. I have to talk to these people. Like, my ex never even, no, that's just not a conversation I've ever had. What this guy is referring to is like you're sitting at a cafe, like at a coffee shop, at a table with a guy. And, and that's something that we do in the States all the time with like a male friend. Like we go out for a coffee and just like sit and hang out or whatever. Maybe you go to school with him or, whatever. And you're not interested in him romantically, but you're just hanging out. That's something that a Muslim man wouldn't necessarily be okay with. So he's not talking about people at the store and people you have to interact with, like Chantal says.
Yeah, for us, appropriate is maybe different than for you. But if he sees you that you are talking even on the phone with a man, he should at least ask you, who is this man and why you are talking to him. Do you understand? You're wearing things that are tight. He'll tell you, no, why you're wearing these things. Things that are of this kind. I cannot bring all the examples that could be as a way to tell you if this man cares or not. But usually, if he's considering you for the long run, mm-hmm. he will not be happy to see you dressing immodestly, mm-hmm. doing any of the things that are normalized mm-hmm. in the Western culture.
I don't like that he's saying Western culture, because there are plenty of Muslims in the West who are living in the Western culture and are of the Western culture. So he could easily make it sound like, oh no, we want our women, completely covered and, in a shroud or something. How I see it, like when I came back to the States and they were like, that I dated somebody, he's like, oh, you should show off, what you got. And I'm like, what? Why would you want me to do that? Like, it blew me away, because it's like, that just told me, and maybe it was from my experience in Egypt, like, oh, you don't give an F about me, like, at all. Like, you're not interested in, like, getting to know me. You just want to, like, take me out as a trophy and then dump me back off after you use me? I don't think so. So that's where I think he's largely coming from. So I do want to switch to a different video, because I think he's, I'll get you his link though anyway, in case you are interested. But, and he's young too. This guy is young. So let me get you a link. But there's a woman who did a similar talk that I enjoyed myself. So this is Fued Talks. 5 signs your Muslim man is playing you. Here we go. Yeah, and Chantal uses a lot of this as an excuse, like, I have to hide my chins. Celeste says my chins are hot. I have to hide them. And it's like, you know, she could easily take what this guy is saying and make it work for her. Like, yeah, I can't be like out there with my chins and stuff, you know? Like, that's not really what he's talking about, Chantal. I mean, maybe, but, you know, probably not. Okay. I forget. Just a moment. Oh yeah, this is the video I watched. This one is going to be a little more quick. Like, she's a little more upbeat. I hadn't seen that one yet, so I don't think I would have played that if I had. He's a little, you know.
Hello, you guys. Welcome.
Oh, okay. So this is Jamila. She's a slightly larger channel, not that much bigger, almost 8,000 subscribers. And she is gorgeous. Wait until you see her. It's What a Thing, Joan. Here we go. Okay. Jamila. And this is, if you are a non-Muslim woman in a relationship with a Muslim man, then this video is for you. Okay.
Welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Jamila, your what's good. Today's topic is a little bit different, but still very relevant. Today, we're going to be talking about some warning signs you should watch out for if you are a non-Muslim woman in a relationship with a Muslim man. I posted a few videos about this on my TikTok, and the amount of comments and DMs I received was honestly so alarming. Before I start the video, I want to emphasize that not all Muslim men are bad. This goes without saying, but you know, some people in the comments were like, why are you making it seem like all of us are bad? Of course, I'm not talking about all Muslim men. I know it's not all Muslim men that do this, but it does happen pretty often, which is why I think it's very important for us to talk about it and make videos about it so that people know the things that they need to watch out for. Unfortunately, a lot of Muslim men that get into relationships with non-Muslim women do have ulterior motives. This is also the case with a lot of Muslim men that get into relationships with women who recently reverted into Islam. I recently had an interaction with a non-Muslim woman who came on my TikTok live, and she told us the guy she's seeing, who's a Muslim man, was trying to get married to her without ever meeting her, and also told her that she should not tell her family about their relationship or about their marriage.
Those are the biggest red flags you could ever see. And if that's something that's like kind of normal, if you're not Muslim and you're not used to meeting the family right away, and this is just like how things are done, you date for like maybe 3 to 6 months before you even meet the family. If a Muslim man is doing that with you, he's absolutely not serious with you. I think it was within the first 5 days that I knew my former partner that I was brought to his mother's place. So
she came on my TikTok live and told me this. I was like, sis, like, there could not be more red flags than this, because the fact that he was telling her to not tell her family, and also the fact that he was trying to expedite their marriage, was a little bit alarming, especially considering the fact that they have never met in real life. There's also this other time where a girl who recently reverted to Islam told me that the guy that she's seeing was trying to do physical stuff with her over FaceTime, and told her that that is allowed in Islam as long as they wanted to get married to each other, which is obviously not the case. She contacted me to ask me if I thought this guy was taking her seriously and if some of the things he told her to do were halal. I've literally had hundreds of women reach out to me telling me their stories, and it's honestly so heartbreaking. I feel like it's so important we make these type of videos because as women, we need to look out for each other. I feel like life is already hard as it is, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter whether you're Muslim or not. It doesn't matter what your background is. I feel like it's very important that we all look out for each other, which is why I make these type of videos. A lot of times, these Muslim men will date non-Muslim women and they will have a physical relationship with them until they're ready to settle down. And then they go off and marry a Muslim woman who's usually from a similar background as them. And of course, the worst part is that they tell the non-Muslim woman that they're in a relationship with that they're taking them seriously and that they intend to marry them, when that is not the case. In this video,
AKA the cigarette. She's the cigarette. She's going to be used and tossed. Yeah.
I'll be sharing some warning signs that I think you guys should watch out for. I'll also share some stories that some women shared with me. And towards the end of the video, I will recommend some things that I think you should do if you're a non-Muslim woman dating a Muslim man. Also, before we get into the video, I want to note that Muslim men are allowed to marry Christians and Jews. However, they usually do marry Muslim women. So the first thing is that dating is not allowed in Islam. So the fact that you guys are even dating can be seen as a red flag. And the reason I say this is because I've heard a lot of Muslim men say that the reason they go out of their way to date non-Muslim women is because Muslim women will not date them and they will not have physical relationships with them. Dating is not allowed in Islam, so I feel like a lot of Muslim women are very wary about getting into relationships with Muslim men. However, non-Muslim women are usually flexible when it comes to this. I would especially watch out if you have been in a long-term relationship with this person, especially if you guys have been in a relationship for more than 2 years, then I feel like it is time to be a little bit concerned. Considering that dating is not allowed in Islam, there's really no reason why the guy would prolong the dating stage, especially more than 1 or 2 years. If he is doing this, he might just be wasting your time and using you as a placeholder until he's ready to settle down with a Muslim woman. The second thing that I would watch out for is if he is pressuring you to convert to Islam, or if he pressures you to abandon your own beliefs, then that is a red flag. Also, Islam does not allow this. If you were to convert, you have to convert for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which is God, and not because a man coerced you into converting. The third thing is a little bit sticky, but I still think that it is super important to note. But if you guys have a physical relationship before marriage, then that might be a red flag. And when I say this, I'm not trying to shame anyone or anything like that. I just think that a lot of Muslim men literally get into relationships with non-Muslim women so that they can have physical relationships. So if that is something that you guys are doing, then how do you know that his intentions are pure or that he does intend to marry you in the long run? Because oftentimes a lot of Muslim women are not open to having physical relationships with men outside of marriage. So they usually go to non-Muslim women to satisfy their needs until they're ready to settle down. This is something I would watch out for if I was a non-Muslim woman dating a
Like, you're the furniture that's being rented temporarily, right?
Muslim man. The fourth thing is if he has double standards. If the guy you are seeing expects you to follow religious rules or cultural norms while he does not adhere to them, then that is a red flag. For example, if you guys have a physical relationship but he's not comfortable with you drinking or you dressing a certain way, then that is a red flag. Because clearly, if this is the case, then that means that he's trying to bend the religion to accommodate his needs, which should not be the case. The fifth one is very important, but if he tells you to keep you guys' relationship a secret, then I would watch out. If he tells you to hide your relationship from your loved ones, or if he doesn't tell his loved ones, then that could be a red flag. However, I do want to note that him telling his family and him wanting you to tell your family does not mean that he's taking you seriously, because there are some cases where their families will literally enable their behavior just because they're men, which is very unfortunate. However, if he doesn't tell his family and if he doesn't want you to tell your family, then that is a red flag. The last thing is that if he insists on cultural or extreme gender roles that limit your autonomy and freedom and blames it on Islam, then that is a red flag. Islam is a very fair religion and women in Islam have a lot of rights. So if he tries to oppress you or if he starts doing things that are misogynistic, then that is from him or sometimes even potentially his culture and not Islam. So do not let him use the religion to excuse his behavior. It's honestly very difficult experiencing these type of things with men, especially when feelings are involved. And I feel like you can honestly never win with somebody that came into the relationship with bad intentions. So I completely sympathize with people who have been or are still in these type of situations. Just so you don't feel alone, I'm going to be sharing some DMs I received in the past couple of months regarding this topic. I feel like it doesn't hurt to hear what other people have to say about a situation that you can relate to. So hopefully this will be somewhat helpful. So this person said, I've been with a Muslim man and everything has been great. However, over the past few months, that started to change. He was sending me videos about Islam, which I didn't mind as I'm open-minded and find the religion beautiful and interesting. But then he started to tell me, I don't want you to have tattoos or things like don't wear that, it's too much. And he started to tell me that he would like me to practice the religion for the future and to respect him. I told him that I wouldn't change, but I will respect his wishes. Child, honestly, how does this make sense? He knew that she had tattoos and about her lifestyle, so how can he expect her to change these things now that they're together? Make that make sense, bro.
And I was never even asked to think about reverting to Islam, or I never once felt like I should. Like, I didn't revert until it was probably 6 months after I returned to the States after the relationship ended. And so it definitely wasn't for a man. But I never once, I mean from his family, because I was Christian. Like, a Muslim man can marry a Christian. It's no problem. A Muslim man can marry a Jewish woman. It's no problem. There's no reason to revert. So I never once felt pressured. So yeah, that is a huge red flag. If you feel like, oh, watch this video and, I learned about the religion from, I ask questions in general, just from like daily life, things come up like, oh, why is that done? And it turns out it's from the Quran. Like, oh, okay. But no one bought me a Quran and like, here, read this, or like, so that's a huge red flag because we don't recruit. We're not recruiters.
The next person said, hey sis, I just saw your TikTok about the non-Muslim woman dating Muslim men. I've had to experience that. I was with a Muslim man for 2.5 years. I fell head over heels for him, and when I asked about meeting his family, he would just change the topic. What did I say about this? One day, I said to him, what are we doing? Where is this going? He said, nowhere. My mom won't accept you, not only because you aren't Muslim, but because you're white. I took this so deep in my heart. I just want to say thank you so much for spreading awareness about this because it happens so much, and thank you for sharing your thoughts about it. This is exactly what I was talking about. If they don't introduce you to their family, then that is a red flag. Because how can you take somebody seriously and claim that this is a person that you want to get married to, but not introduce them to your family? Also, if I'm being fully transparent, a lot of Muslim families do not want their kids to marry non-Muslims. So that is usually why the Muslim men will not introduce their non-Muslim girlfriends to their families. And that is also one of the reasons why they will not marry them, which is why it is so important that you meet his family, because if you don't, then how do you know that he's taking you seriously? How do you know that you're the exception? The next person said, hey, I'm dating a Muslim man and it's been very hard. I sent him your TikTok. His mother knows we're together but doesn't approve. It's been so hard. The next person said, I saw your TikTok on Muslim men and was reaching out for some advice. My boyfriend is a Muslim and not from a strict family. He buys me gifts, treats me right, but won't introduce me to his family. Should I be worried about this? Yes, you should absolutely be worried about this because of everything I literally just said. The next person said, hey, I saw your TikTok relating to a Muslim man dating a non-Muslim woman and I'm seeking advice. I'm currently in a relationship with a Muslim man who's literally the nicest man I have ever met in my entire life. He told me at the start of our relationship that he does not practice anymore. I'm not sure the reason why. He drinks, goes out on dates, and so forth. Recently, as the relationship is progressing, I'm beginning to wonder why he can't introduce me to his parents. I'm very naive with all of this and I just believe that two people who fall in love can end up together. However, now I'm believing that there's more to it than just this. Do you believe I should let him go? I'm telling you, even if they're not religious, the warning signs still apply to them, because the fact that he is not introducing it to his family is such a big red flag. These aren't even the worst DMs I received. I received a lot of DMs where women would tell me that their non-Muslim partners were using them. I can't find the DM, but I remember there was this one woman who told me that her and her Muslim boyfriend were intimate and that he suddenly ended the relationship and that a few weeks later she found out that he was getting married to a Muslim woman and that she couldn't do anything about it because nobody from his side knew that they were together and that she's extremely heartbroken. I honestly wouldn't.
How do you think the wife-to-be would feel if she knew about that? Like, oh, yeah, no, we're not going to have premarital sex because we're not married and we're religious Muslims. Okay. So she's saving herself. And meanwhile, he's screwing around with a non-Muslim woman because he can. He hasn't had to sacrifice anything waiting for marriage. And he has probably been courting her that whole time. And in the meantime, he's having sex with his girlfriend. Lovely.
Not wish any of this on my worst enemy. I just want to say that I'm here for you guys. If you guys need any advice, if you guys have any questions, please reach out to me. My Instagram is JamilaXO. Inshallah, I'll try my best to reply to as many of you guys as possible. You guys can also leave a comment and I'm sure Muslim women who see this video will answer your question or give you advice. The last thing I want to share is, I guess, how I would approach this situation or how I would address these issues. The first thing is seek support. Reach out to Muslim sisters and ask them for advice and tell them about your situation. We might follow different religions, but at the end of the day, we're all women and women need to stick to each other. So I am sure they'll be happy to answer any questions that you have and to give you any type of advice. This will make sure that you have somebody to touch base with and to make sure that he does not waste your time. A lot of us Muslim women grew up around Muslim men, so we know all the tricks. The next thing is that I would recommend all non-Muslim women who are with Muslim men to study Islam. And this isn't even with the intention of converting, but more so to understand their inherent right as women within the context of Islam. Islam. And the reason I say this is because oftentimes when Muslim men talk to non-Muslim women, they feel like they have an easy pass and that they no longer have to adhere to Islamic rules when that is not the case. However, if the non-Muslim woman understands and is aware of her rights as a woman within the context of Islam, then she can advocate for herself. For example, let's say that you've been in a relationship for a long time. You can ask your partner why you guys are even dating to begin with, because that's not allowed in Islam, and that you guys should get married as soon as possible. Another thing, for example, you can ask is why you guys are in a physical relationship when that is not allowed in Islam. Another thing that comes to mind is the meher, or the dowry that a man has to pay his wife. If you don't know these things, then you can't really advocate for yourself. So I would highly recommend that each and every one of you guys studies Islam. Again, this is not with the intention of converting. You guys do not have to convert, but just so that you know what your rights are. I also want to note that in Islam, these men are held to the same standard regardless what religion the woman they're seeing follows. So don't do yourself a disservice by not knowing what your rights are. That is the end of the video. If you have watched this far, thank you. I love you so much. Like I said, I'm here for each and every one of you guys. Please watch out for all the signs that I shared in the beginning of the video. Like I said in the video, not all Muslim men are bad, but this does happen often. So it's very important to watch out for these signs. I'm here for each and every one of you guys. So if you guys have any questions or need advice, then you guys can leave a comment, or you guys can also DM me. I love you guys so much. Inshallah, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys. You know what my younger brother said to me? So he went and he checked my YouTube channel and he was like, it's been 11 days since you posted a YouTube video. He was like, you're slacking big time. Little does he know that I have been extremely busy these past few weeks, especially with Eid and everything. But y'all, what's good, what's good? I keep forgetting what my intro is, bro. Wow, look. Is this an ad? It is an ad. Wow.
Okay, so that is Jamila. Much more high energy than that other guy. This is why I always try to watch a video before I bring it on, because I wouldn't have brought that on. He was a little, I was falling asleep myself. So, yeah, she is great. And she has, like, my hijab story, all kinds of stuff. All kinds of good stuff. Truths about marriage. And she's got a bunch of shorts, too. Yeah. Beautiful girl. Beautiful. So, everybody, thank you so much for joining me today. We didn't catch any criminals. That's okay. Maybe there weren't any at the moment. And the burglary had already been taken care of by the time we got our asses in gear. So, that happens sometimes, too. But they will be live again on Friday. But I will look for something a little more spicy, so that we're not just driving around talking about old guys and wrestling. So, yeah. Okay. Everyone, enjoy the rest of your day, okay? Love you all, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.